Let's start some great conversations today about a big-time event happening this weekend at Sanderson's Fields, the abandoned runway there at the Port of Shelton Sanderson Field. We're talking Oysterfest. I have the Goo this year, David Baker and Mike Barnard from the Skookum Rotary. Good morning, guys. How you doing?
Good morning.
This is going to be a big-time event here. How you doing, Dave? Good to see you.
Thanks very much for having us here today. And Oysterfest, as you know, this is our 35th annual Oysterfest. It's a great event for the community, and it's a lot of fun. And I hope people come out and enjoy it with us this weekend.
So we are going to talk as well with Patti Case in a little bit about the vendors, but this all helps the nonprofits in Mason County and put on by the Skookum Rotary. So how are things shaping up this year?
So far, it's looking pretty good. We're really excited about some of the vendors that we're going to have, and Patti will talk a little bit more about that. We have some great live music. As always, we have some really fabulous wine for folks to enjoy, and we have a great microbrew area for to support that part of the community, and it's really exciting to have so many entertainers and so much great stuff to experience, fun for the whole family.
What's it been like being the Goo this year?
Well, it's a little crazy.
Yeah, I bet.
But we have a lot of people that put their hearts into it, and we get a lot done, and it really comes together.
And I think there's, some 55 people in Skookum Rotary, but it's about 180 volunteers overall that help put this whole thing together?
Actually, closer to 300.
Oh, my gosh. Bring that microphone a little bit closer to you, Mike.
Yeah,
300?
It's almost 400. We have there's a lot of people that have to put a lot of time and energy into making this thing come together. We want it to look seamless for the folks that come.
Yeah.
But it takes a lot of work behind the scenes to make that all happen.
Last year was the first year at the abandoned runway, and by all accounts, it worked out well. The weather was very nice last year. This year, it could be a little wet, but we were talking with Dick Taylor from the Port of Shelton, and he was saying, you're on that abandoned runway. It's all concrete. There's not going to be mud. There's not going to be puddling. It's going to make for a very nice walkabout, even if it is a little inclement. I think I like that.
Well, we can handle a little mist, can't we?
Yeah, it won't be too bad. Mike, you're here to talk about the shucking competition, which is 2 days. Saturday is a certain kind, Sunday is a certain kind. Break it down for me.
Saturday is what's called the speed shucking, where each shucker has 24 oysters to shuck as fast as they can. And we count them on whether they get 24 oysters done and they're back on the platter and they're not on the floor, and stuff like that. And we that's gotten very fast over the years. It's up around a minute now.
Oh my gosh.
And then on Sunday we have the half shell, which is where they have to remove the oyster from the shell and replace it in the shell as they would for oysters on the half shell in a restaurant. And that is, our fastest time is around 3 minutes for 24 oysters on that. So it's extremely fast. Compared to years ago when it was 5-6 minutes.
Oh, wow.
It's really gone.
Really gone.
And this is the West Coast Championship. This is the largest shucking competition on the West Coast. And we have some famous people like Zinn who have won this several times.
Yeah.
We're looking forward to it, but each day is unique. And I have 52 shuckers at this point spread over the 2 days, so we should have a really good competition.
David, one of the other things that we were talking about that I know everybody, as soon as they start driving up, either to catch the shuttle that is in the 3 different locations or the free parking on Sanderson Field property, as soon as they park, they go, "Did you bring cash? Did you bring cash?" Well, don't worry about that, right? Because we got ATMs and all that.
We do. We have 3 ATMs this year that'll help out with that quite a bit, and we're really excited to have so many people come and help support Oysterfest, because the Oysterfest dollars are the thing that we're all about, getting that money back into the community with our scholarships, with our community grants, and all the ways that we can contribute to making this area great.
When we take a break, when we come back, we'll talk about the vendors with Patti Case here as we talk Oysterfest. It's this weekend at the Port of Shelton Sanderson Field, Saturday and Sunday. We'll tell you about the times and the admission costs right after this.
Don't you miss it. Oysterfest, Oyster Shucking Championship, Seafood Cook-Off, live music, microbrews, and Washington State wines. And, of course, over 60 nonprofit organizations benefiting from your attendance and support. It's the biggest event of the year for a reason. Don't miss it. The 2016 edition of Oysterfest.
Enjoy all that is Oysterfest this weekend, and for income tax preparation, tax and financial planning, full-service accounting, both personal or for your business, go to a true professional. Go to Mike Wittenberg, CPA. WittenbergCPA.com.
Don't miss the ultimate Michael Jackson tribute concert at Lucky Eagle Casino October 1st. Joby Rogers is the only tribute artist ever chosen by the King of Pop himself, and tickets start at just $15 for Players Club members. Lucky Eagle Casino and Hotel, where you belong. Details at luckyeagle.com.
7:21 now at iFiber One News Radio. Good morning to you. I'm Jeff Slakey, continuing a great conversation about Oysterfest. It is tomorrow and Sunday, Saturday 10 to 6, Sunday 10 to 5, also known as the West Coast Oyster Shucking Championship and Washington State Seafood Festival. We like to call it Oysterfest. This time we're talking with Patti Case as well now. And good morning, Patti. How you doing?
Good morning, Jeff.
Good to see you.
Good to see you.
Vendors. We got a lot of them. How many?
I have to start with this.
Yeah.
We got to come up with something else besides the abandoned runway.
I know.
Honestly?
Well,
come on, Jeff. You're in charge of coming up with the new idea.
I'll make a note on that. That'll be my job until
we
tomorrow
are really
morning.
Excited about the abandoned runway because it's not going to be abandoned this weekend, is it, David?
It's certainly not.
Oh, indeed. So we, show up with 15 or 20,000 of our favorite friends, which is really fun. And we have about 50 vendors this year. And one thing that I think is really exciting is that every single one of these vendors, of course, is a nonprofit organization that does business here in Mason County, and they put another $50,000 into the local economy in the way of services for everybody from seniors to newborns and everything in between. So, very exciting this year. Brace yourself. Bacon wrapped oysters are going to be back.
Whoa!
Yeah, our friends at the Shelton Presbyterian Church, they do a program with youth missions, and they're going to be doing both bacon wrapped scallops and bacon wrapped oysters.
Oh, so you get a little bit of a choice.
Yeah. They also do some other stuff, so please visit that booth. That'll be really awesome. Another big piece of news is that our friends at Senior Services for South Sound, who do the coconut shrimp. Everybody waits in line for 40 minutes
the big
for this,
line right there.
They have a new fryer. So that was their bottleneck. So hopefully they'll be opened up a little bit and be able to get some additional customers through.
Oh, good,
and of course make more money for South Senior Services. It's pretty great.
How long? All week long people have been setting up for this thing? Those tents up there are just gigantic.
Yes, they are. So we have been setting up all week long. Electrical started up yesterday, so if you imagine, we just literally are plugging everybody's
plugging in
starting tomorrow afternoon at 3 p.m. after Kids Day. So these vendors literally come screaming in and they start setting up on Friday afternoon, and they are ready for you on Saturday morning by 10.
There's a lot of things. You mentioned Kids Day, and there's a lot of things for the kids. David, what are some of the things that kids are going to be able to do?
Well, we have a lot of entertainment that's kind of kid-focused, as well as some of the things like the touch tanks. Professor Bamboozle's going to be there. We have little boats and a little pond that we've created for them. So there's things like that. We have entertainment that sort of rotates around.
We also have Christmas Town Kiwanis does a little train ride.
Oh, yeah, the train.
Yeah. So I don't think you can fit into the little train cars, but
I know I cannot.
My new grandson can.
I think, was it last year we were out there? It might have been last year. Kaiser was out there running on that thing, and he had a great time. Every kid I see smiles on those things. It's so much fun.
It's a lot of fun.
Those horns. We're going to just send them by the oyster shucking competition just to drive Mike Barnard crazy.
They won't know if it's the starting gun or not.
My grandkids have been on that.
So we got a lot of fun events, and it's for children of all ages, to be sure. It's $5 to get in. On Sunday, it is Kids Day, so kids under 13 are free, right?
That's it.
So that's a good deal there.
Yeah.
And there are 3 shuttle locations. Where are the shuttle locations? They are, I think, at the high school. They're at the marina, and then there's one more. I was just looking at it on in your fancy booklet here. The Civic Center, the Yacht Club, and the high school.
Yes.
Otherwise, you can just park for free up at Sanderson Field.
You can, but I certainly recommend using the shuttle because they leave every half hour. Scream on up there, and you don't have to worry about the parking. It does get pretty crazy up there.
Yeah, the shuttles are very convenient.
What did you guys hear from as you wrapped up last year and looking ahead to this year? What were some of the changes that you guys said, well, we should probably do this? I mean, I thought it went very well last year for the first time up there.
It was a very pleasant surprise how well it came together for us last year. We were all very apprehensive about the new location, but it really worked well. So we're really excited about how well it went last year, setting up as well as we did last year, making some of the improvements that we're hoping that are really going to help with the traffic flow as far as the cars and such. The shuttles, of course, are a big help, but also the foot traffic throughout the event, having a little bit more space between the tents.
Oh, yeah.
And having a little bit more organization going into it as opposed to that last-minute frenzy where you're pulling your hair out going, ah!
Very good. So now I'm going to have to put you guys on a spot. What's your favorite dish at Oysterfest? Patti, we'll start with you.
I would say for me, the bacon wrapped scallops are my favorite.
That'll be a good one for sure.
I have asked this question of our club members several times, and it always cracks me up to hear people say, oh, the root beer floats.
The root beer floats,
which are good.
No, nothing
doubt.
against the root beer float.
But yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's a seafood festival.
Yeah, it's not
right?
root beer float fest or whatever.
Yeah,
My
there you
gosh,
go.
David, what about you?
I really enjoy the smoked salmon that the Squaxin bring.
Oh, yeah.
It's a lot of. It's a little bit different, but it's still seafood, and they do a terrific job with that.
So
Very
Squaxin
nice.
Island Tribe this year, they are worried about how much salmon they have for their grilled salmon.
Okay.
They are worried about that because salmon is not in plentiful supply this year. So they've added steamed clams to their offerings as well. So if and when they run out of salmon, which we hope doesn't happen,
right.
We'll have some alternatives at any rate.
And Mike,
Excellent.
what about what's your favorite food?
Mine is the smoked salmon.
Smoked salmon,
I
very
always have
good.
that at least each day.
Every day. Oh, well,
That's because
where
it's
the numbers are
closest to
going.
oyster shucking.
So we've got the oyster shucking. We got the wine tent there with what Jim Morrell was on the other day. He said 14 wines and 75 varieties of wine, 14 wineries, I guess, something like that.
It was 19.
19?
But, yeah,
75,
14,
something like
19.
Wow, just very good. And then the beer garden as well with some bands, and there's bands in the wine area as well. Souvenirs are up, and you can buy Oysterfest wine, labeled wine.
There's some really awesome women's T-shirts that are in beautiful husky colors. Just saying.
Well, just throwing that out there for folks. Very nice.
Yeah, and our 35th annual event is going to have some really nice logos for all the souvenirs, so we're going to have some good-looking stuff. It'll be really memorable and a lot of fun.
Well, we hope to see everybody up at Oysterfest. It's tomorrow and Sunday. Again, the hours are 10 to 6 on Saturday, 10 to 5 on Sunday. It's at the Port of Shelton at Sanderson Field. You're not going to miss it. You're going to see a lot of tents and a lot of traffic and a lot of great times had by many folks. David Baker, the Grand Old Oyster for this year. Patti Case, Mike Barnard, thank you so much for coming on with me today.
Thanks
for having us.
We'll see you guys tomorrow.
We'll see you at Oysterfest.
That's
Thank you.
right.